We should have already covered these few can see vision. Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful divine mirage. Launch this mindful message. It's your divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another message I understand as well. If you choose to and you enjoy these videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. And let's go ahead and get into it. I don't want to waste your time, but as you can see, we feel better and we're doing better. So thank you to the ones who sent positive affirmations. And I just had a day to where I made content early around, I want to say 4 to 5, 6 a.m. And then after that, I was able to just go to sleep and rest the whole entire day. So I needed that. I feel great. And I went through a spiritual battle. So I may make a video on that because I noticed something about how the virus, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it was wild. And then of course, by me retaining, my body was just fighting against itself. And I noticed that the being that's being purged out of my body wanted to hold on. So it was just sending different lucid dreaming experiences against me and my coaches, for example, for the future, what's going to happen. So it was like I was stepping into an alternate future current experience that I've already experienced in a different timeline. But because physically I'm not in that realm yet, the being wanted me to believe this fantasy that it was creating as I was resting and sweating out the toxins that were latching onto my guts, my organs, kidneys, and all that. But we flushed it out, and that'll be a different topic. If y'all want to hear that, just comment down below. But let's get into it. So we already covered this in the part 1 about the cover-up. Now, if somebody's saying, what's the point of all this? Understand, there are beings out here who still get platforms, who still lie to the masses, and the masses will still believe it. The masses will still idolize these characters that are playing and mocking biological men that have no reason to even do this type of thing for funny, or not funny, but fame, money, idolization, worship, attraction. Just these beings want so many materialistic ideas attached to them to where the only way for them to thrive is by harvesting the energies that people aren't aware of. That's exactly why if you're watching Bleach or if you're into anime, I'm still learning about the Bount arc and all that, and how these beings are harvesting living souls, but the Bounts went against their programming or their laws. And the thing is too, the being who runs the Bounts called Karaya, whatever, but he has white hair, whatever the case may be. So this being, I'm on episode 80 right now, whatever the case may be, but this being in the Bount, I got y'all, hold on. Because I forgot most of the names because some niggas not really important for real. So, I think his name is Cardia. Yeah, Cardia. Now, when this picture comes up, I'm going to include you all into what I'm basically describing, because that's why anime is great for messages. So it's like, of course, getting away from the cartoonish effects and all that. The message to me means the most spiritually, because it's helping us understand that in this arc right now, they're underground. They're underground at the moment, and they basically got a hold on humanity because this being right here sacrificed this being. Now, that was before too. I didn't really know who she was. I just thought she was one of them, which she was, but she went against her laws as well. Now, the thing is, as they were underground, fast forward, because Ichigo already fought one of the Soul Reapers so this being right here, he's a Soul Reaper that joined the vampires or the Bounts that collect and harvest human nature. And when this being, and the thing is too, these beings allowed her to die. Not only just that, he also sacrificed him because he wanted his power, which is why he wanted to talk like him, be like him, think like him, walk like him. And he already understood that, but he's so powerful to the point to where he just eliminated him without even having to put his hand through his heart, whatever. And when she was sacrificed, then he was able to become more powerful. And then that opened up a different realm, a higher awareness to where humanity wasn't able to see that. But then Cardia, this being right here, he was releasing these mosquito-like deities, and they were sucking the energy from humanity. I think this is where the underground, I haven't gotten to this episode yet. Let's see here. I want you all to be able to understand, because the mosquito-looking entities, that's literally what celebrities do by sending their foot soldiers to the media. Let's see here. mosquito, because I don't know what those things are called. Mosquito. Yeah, I'm just going to say cardio mosquito. Come on. Google, you know what I'm talking. No. Come on, Google, you know what I'm talking about. Because if y'all can see, exactly. Okay, bingo. This is basically our nature, our DNA, our genetic makeup, and it just looked like this form right here. Now, the Soul Reaper, this Soul Reaper who's sitting right here, and of course the thing is too, he was in a soul society, but he came to the land of the living to find himself again, because one of the beings that he was supposed to be looking up to in his organization, because they're organizations that they are a part of, so it's like secret societies. Now, the average human does not know about this, but they're basically portraying in an animated format that this vampire, this bound right here, saved his life. Because he saved your life, an eye for an eye, meaning that for when I saved your life, now you owe me yours. And he submitted his life, gave his life to this vampire right here. That's how he was able to stay more powerful. And the thing is too, he has a repulsive glare. I looked that up, and a repulsive glare means that he's not welcoming. He's so confident in his ability to where you don't understand why he thinks the way he thinks, and you don't know what he's thinking about. But he's so powerful to the point to where it's useless for him to be sweating a fight that he knows he will win. It got so bad that the main antagonist or protagonist in the story or the storyline went into a depression because he got his ass whooped. He was just flicking him into the wall. And once he kept flicking him, just doing this, Ichigo went into a depression. That's exactly what happens when society shames you. So you can be sitting with your friends or whatever the case may be, and they understand how powerful you are, but they don't understand what you're going through internally. So they'll do anything they can to get you into training so you can get out of your funk, because you have to go against the strongest beings in this dimension, or Luciferians. So when you're divine, that's why you have this blue and this red polarity of duality, because for the good and the bad side, no matter what you're going through, you have to constantly slay these demonic programs that are going against you. If you allow them to go against you and you accept that and you fall into their frequency, now it's like you're letting them harvest your energy. So the mosquito things that this is like the foot soldiers, and this is basically him drinking our blood, so turning water into wine. But this is basically what this being did, got a human being and consumed the nature. And this is what the beings looked like that were sucking. So it was like these beings were, so the average human was trying to fight off the beings or whatever. And then once that happened, they would suck the nature. And then it's like the solar awareness is detached from the body to where it's consumed into one of these beings. They get so large, they go back to their master, and then they pour the substance into a cup, and then he drinks it, and he's getting powerful, and he's living longer off of our awareness. So they're not supposed to be here, but they transcend time, which is why one of the beings, and that's why he got his ass whooped as well. But one of the beings that, to the girl that I mentioned, he sacrificed, she was telling them how they're going over their limit. So it's like, imagine you can be immortal to where there is no death for you. But when you're watching over humanity, you wonder how humanity is so able, or is able to function and able to thrive off of knowing that they have a short lifespan. These vamps, they don't understand what that feels like, because they're not bound to time, but humanity is. So because they transcend time, we don't know who the vampires are. That's exactly why when you understand vampirism, demonology, when you understand occultism, mysticism, sorcery, and all that, they're using words to detect. So the words that we use, that is what these, so you can see energy right there, but that's what these beings are. When the words they use, the words we use, the idolization, the attention that they cast from the screening program, from the Jewish media, when people fall for that sorcery and then they consume it and allow themselves to be consumed by that unconsciousness, and then when you speak upon it, they'll go against you, because now the agent or the sentient being has shifted their frequency into a lower form of what they consume every single day through words. I know we already covered that. Also, let me do Twitter real quick, because Skull and Gate also had somebody asked him a question, and you already know when I love to bookmark things. I just love making videos, and that's why I love feeling healthy, because I can constantly just keep on working, keep on doing what we gotta do. Because yesterday I was bad, I'm just coughing all over the place, but we good to go. But Skull and Gate, somebody asked Skull and Gate a great question, and shout out to you also for referencing me on Twitter. So what I mean is too, this was earlier when I was, oh yeah, so here's what he said. Great explanation of the BBL from Darius Harrison. So I appreciate you, Skull and Gate. And always, I love to send, that's why I say appreciate you always, and great work from you as well. So always got to send the love back to the people who show me love, because you don't have to do that. Now, ignore my bookmarks for the future videos. If you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, these videos will make sense. Because trust me, when I see stupidity, when I see ignorance, yeah, just know eventually I'm going to use it for an example. I'm going to use it for a video. Okay. So it's not that video. What do we got here? No. Great video, by the way. Okay, it was this one right here. So, and thank you, Skull and Gate, for all the work that you do as well. And any trans investigator, just thank you for the work that you do, because this stuff really helps me just pass it along to other beings who are wanting to know what's going on. But here's something as well that these beings, so Grey's Anatomy, these beings hiding behind the mask, masquerading as 63 beings or carbonated beings, doesn't matter what they are, but they're wearing our skin, and then they're playing in it unconsciously, and then they're causing humanity to suffer in what they want to transition into, which is a better life by getting cosmetic surgery that involves removing the fat from one area of the body to another. So fat transfer, or BBLs, a lot of people are, so even like BBL abs, arms, legs, people are getting taller from, I ain't gonna say BBL legs, but yeah, people are getting these different types of procedures being done to them, and it's like they're getting injected with different things that are going to harm them in the long run, so it's not worth it. And re-injecting it into the buttocks to increase volume and improve shape. This procedure aims to create a more lifted, rounded, and contoured appearance of the buttocks, while also improving the contours of the waist and hip. Oh, more lifted, rounded, and contoured appearance. Okay, no, we're good. So, excuse me, liposuction is performed on the hips, tummy, and upper thighs. Fat cells are gathered and processed. Okay, so yeah, you can look at that. That's how a lot of women, that's how a lot of men transition into a woman, because they're going through this procedure right here. Because in order for them to gain masculine lust, so that, because the thing is too, the cheat code, it seems like, for the transhumanism agenda, basically the people who are turned inside out, who are inverted from birth, they understand that, okay, their purpose is to leech off of the beings that did no harm to them, because they understand that they're not creative in any type of category when it comes down to social media or life as well. Now, a lot of them are very intellectual, and they're very compassionate when it comes to certain things. So a lot of them aren't basically trying to get attention, but most of them care for that attention, because look at what they've been through. A lot of them know their background and know their history. So I bookmarked this because, hello, brother, I have a question. When hormones are injected into the fetus during the mother's pregnancy, do the reproductive organs change or remain the same? And at birth, does anything change? Yes, hormones or any drugs injected into a mother or the fetus will have an effect on the fetus. There are documented cases of babies being born with disorders of sexual development. Now, that right there was just interesting, because that's literally how the bodies are being shaped. And then once the boy becomes a girl, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you. Once the boy becomes a girl, the people on the internet won't be able to tell. So a lot of these women, and the thing is, there's always gonna be that one person who will watch him like, that's transphobic, this and that. Let's go ahead also and look up these different terms, because people will throw these things out not knowing that I don't dislike or have a fear of beings who are in LGBTQ, whatever the case may be. All beings deserve love from me. Having or showing a dislike of or strong prejudice against transgender people. Not at all whatsoever. I don't like the intentions or unconscious intentions with evil acting that's done upon what these transgender people are doing. That's what I don't like. Because for one, I have no problem with them. If I did, I'll just basically start bashing, his whole gender, this and like, no. I'll just be bashing to his hairstyle, his body type, like his birth chart, his astrology. No, because I don't gain anything from that. The one thing is, though, Luciferians, Freemasons, they're not slick on, and even Satanists, they're not slick on what they're doing, because it's already unfortunate that parents will allow this stuff to keep happening. But then when these parasites allow beings to accept what isn't normal, then it's just like, when you call it out, now they want to throw this title onto you, your name calling. So you can't call me a title that I don't practice. But if you're bringing it up, that means that you despise them. That's the problem right there. People will throw titles onto me because I call out things that they idolize. That's what I understood about human behavior right there. That's why I separated myself from the masses, because I understood that, for one, I can't dislike what I'm a part of. You get what I'm saying? I can't dislike what I'm a part of. Because I'm biologically a man, I still have love for beings who may be turned from woman to men and men to women at a young age. Either way it goes, we all come from that same exact background. The only difference is I wasn't altered and thrown into the experimentation of what a tear in the wheat is. Meaning that, for one, so I already talked about that too, the tares in the wheats. So that's exactly what I call out this. This is a false illusion, a false light that Luciferians and Freemasons accept as normal. When you call this out, you now trigger the beings that were growing up into idolizing and chasing illusions that they were taught at a younger age, into thinking it was normal because of what? Letting the world know about their traumatic introduction into life that their parents allowed them to go through, so that the parents can be taken care of by the experimentation that they were discovering and learning from and studying and experiencing on the whole entire time. Now, from my experience, because I was growing up, going through the experiences of being shamed by beings who aren't authentic to themselves, and going through my own experience of hurting myself, causing my own heartbreaks. And the thing is to take accountability, because all the heartbreaks, all the things that have been done to me in the past that were negative, I allow myself to go through so I can be who I am today. So because I stay on this side of the fence, honestly too, and that's the physical part of me going with the guidance that I don't follow. But if I also follow a side, I'm picking this side right here. Why is that? I can build up my family the way we all agree upon. Not just me, because as a man, you'll say, I want my family to follow my orders. No, because then you are enslaved to my mindset. No, sir. If I'm going to have a family, I want to hear everybody's opinion on how we're able to be loving and caring, and how we can benefit our future lineage by being together in one unison, by understanding our bondage and relationship into what a higher being is observing through both sides of what we could have been experiencing. But there aren't experiences or sides of beings living this life or this life when you're observing both of these lifestyles that you are a part of, but you are not living in. You temporarily live in a certain experience that you are authentically being in. So the beings who are biologically a man or a woman, their parents didn't turn them inside out or turn them inverted or transgender. You would have a loving life that's just natural. It may be boring to them because you're not chasing materialistic validation that people honestly don't care about on this side. We don't care about this stuff over here. Why is that? Because when you're born spoiled, just speaking from experience, nothing anybody in this world can do will satisfy me into wanting to get more. Because I've already seen all the nice cars, all the nice houses. I've been in nice houses before. I'm already in one now. I've had many shoes, many clothes. I've had attention. I already know what it feels like to get millions of views. I know what it feels like to have a lot of followers, or whatever the case may be, or supporters. I call them supporters, but I know what it feels like to meet celebrities. I know what it feels like to be in realms with celebrities. I know what it feels like to see different deities that aren't considered human being. I know what it feels like to hold a lot of money. I know what it feels like to have millions, thousands, whatever the case may be. I know what it feels like to have accolades, trophies, awards. All that stuff meant nothing. It meant nothing, and it couldn't satisfy nor stimulate what I was becoming. I don't have Emmy Awards. I don't have Oscars. I don't have nominees or whatever. I don't have that stuff, and I don't care to have that, because what will it do for me? Oh, we appreciate your work, so you deserve an award. For what? Just working? I deserve an award for my hard work, and we all should be doing hard work anyways. Me, and the thing is too, I'll be thankful to receive one, so like a plaque, so I can see myself getting that gold YouTube plaque one day. But I'm gonna hang that up, and guess what? Keep on working, because it won't do anything for me, but have me hold on to past memories that I've already went through already and experienced, and it's been documented. So you see what the work is doing for me, and it's for you as well, because you're teaching me how it means to be authentic with beings who hate your authenticity. You grow up loving yourself to where there is no hatred towards you or towards me. If I don't hate myself, how can I hate you? And if I do hate myself, why would I hate you? If I hate myself, why would I hate you when you don't deserve my hate? Why would my hate want to gravitate towards you when my hatred consumes me every day? with the love I have for myself. Doesn't make any sense, does it? That's the point. That's the point. Okay. Now, the thing is, too, we already went through that. Yeah, we already went through that. Yep. Now, the thing is, this being as well, that's why we want the new Pope. All this stuff will keep happening. So thank the Pope as well for having our people, like this being right here, Derek Harmon. So even the movie Him, there's a movie Him coming out about making a sacrifice to being in the NFL or being in football. But that's exactly why when this happened, when the NFL draft was happening, weeks ago, whatever, they were displaying what's going on in these movies and what's going on in real life, but people are not aware of that. So I feel like they're just basically slowly but surely telling you what's happening, but they won't put it into full detail on what's really being done to these beings and their mothers and their fathers. But his name was called, a YouTube video showed Harmon excusing himself from the room and beginning to sob. A large group of Harmon's family and friends gathered in his hometown of Detroit to watch the draft on TV. Shortly after his name was called, the YouTube video showed Harmon excusing himself from the room and beginning to sob. You're supposed to be here, he can be heard saying through his tears. Because what did it take? What did you do to get to where you are through the NFL draft? I hope you know the NFL draft is modern day. It's a modern day slave auction. Literally. And the thing is, too, somebody will be like, that's not the case. You're thinking too deep into it. No. You're not meant to be down here playing sports for species that you don't really get to meet. Do you honestly get to meet the owners of these teams? Do you know who owns these NFL teams? Do you get to touch hands with them? Do you get to sit in meetings with them? I'm pretty sure you do not. And the thing is, too, your coach doesn't even fire you. It's the higher-ups that do it anyways. They seen something in you, or you did something for them to where they said, you spark our interest. Let's go ahead and draft you at a higher number to where now we can keep our focus on you. We can invest more money into you because you sacrificed your mom for a football, for Lucifer and a ball. We're going to now consume her energy because she's already left the simulation. You did that. So the simulation, but now the energy will be harvested and you'll be able to savor that so where you can become more powerful now. Play for her being. And she's not being here with you physically, but she was always in your mind. So because you made a sacrifice for a better mindset in football, we're going to drug you up. We're going to put you on the MK Ultra. We're going to put you under hypnosis to where you're going to play for the Steelers. You may win a ring. You may do this and that. Everything you do, all the yards you get, all the touches you get, all the sacks you get, the tackles you get, fumbles, interceptions, we will design that for your betterment. And if you don't work by the script, we had to kick you out. And it'll be a waste of time. So imagine you wasted your mother's life for being selected 21st overall pick in the NFL. And then you see what's happening. Like you go against MK Ultra. You wake up and you're like, how long have I been sitting in this illusion? When you go against that, you say, I don't want to keep playing this game no more. Did this nigga just say he doesn't want to play our game anymore? You got us fucked up, bitch. We invested millions, billions into you, and you're saying to us that you don't want to play for the Steelers no more because of your feelings? Clone his ass. Actually, get him the fuck out, and we're going to emulate your blood that we already got your blood and all that. We got your fingerprints. We already got your name, your identity. Cool. You want to leave? We got something for you. We're going to make a mockery of you to the point to where now the life you had will be no more. You're done. So now on top of that, when you lead the NFL, you looking like as a normal being now because you're the average human. You're not playing sports. You're not making millions no more or making millions of illusions. But since you're not in that industry no more, now you don't have your mom anymore. So when people do that, the sport is how they run away from accountability. But then when they retire, that's when it hits them. Ooh, that bitch hurts. It hurts when you turn 50 or 40. You're aching. You probably are paralyzed. You probably gotta be on a wheelchair. Kane gotta probably be in a mental home because you got CTE and all that. You gotta take medications, pharmaceuticals. Your mind is not there no more. And that's because, too, you knew what you did. And these decisions that you made help you understand what you could have avoided, but you didn't choose to do that because you wanted the money. You wanted to be praised and cheered for it. Derek. And when he hears that, he's like, yeah, I love this shit. That's how he runs away. And then on top of that, when he hears that, he's like, don't worry, Mom. It's for you. It's just like, and niggas don't know. Niggas don't know what he did for her to even be up there in his mindset, watching him suffer. Suffer. So which left her so his mother suffered a stroke. And to me, I don't like going to people's families, but when these news outlets are broadcasting that, it's inevitable because, of course, it's done by the numbers. So on April 24th, and they do that 4 + 2. So once you get that 6, what is that symbolism for the 6? You understand as well. Because when you understand the symbology of that, because you have to go through, okay, so now in spiritual terms, that's for the positive side, right? Now contradict that. Because for one, that's how you feel internally with the good and all that. So for the harmony, the balance, and nurturing responsibility. But once you contradict that, you flip it, now this harmony is imbalanced. You find harmony in satanic illusions. You find this balance that you had, it's imbalanced now. You're doing things for the betterment of them, not for you. Nurturing, you're being nurtured by money, not by compassion outside of that money that you still consume mentally. Responsibility, you were responsible for taking care of your family, but how you took care of it was making a sacrifice to be in the NFL. Sick. Sick. All done by design. Okay, now I had this screenshot because I feel like 2 parasites are causing beings to be... causing them to be turned inside out. Because only a being who's been born into this within them, I would say the tapeworms, ringworms, whatever, within them, those are the actual demonic frequencies. So they're not what we think are humans or being or demons. No, they exist within your gut. So now when I understand this, let's take a look at my hypothesis for homosexuality. Right off the bat, there is no genetic incentive for homosexuality. It breeds itself right out of existence. Psychology tries to find ways to defend it as some sort of social mechanism. But this again runs into the brick wall of it going extinct almost instantly on evolutionary timescales. I do think, however, there's another explanation for homosexuality: parasites. So take, for example, Toxoplasma gondii. When it infects rodents, it alters their behavior to make them more likely to be eaten by cats, where Toxoplasma gondii can then reproduce. Homosexuals have an outstandingly high rate of infection by parasites. According to the National Institute of Health, 70% of all homosexual men are infected with intestinal parasites, as opposed to only 10% of straight men. This outstandingly high rate of infection by parasites might then explain why homosexuals have such an increased urge to fornicate. Because that's the thing too, even with pagans or paganism. Even in the ancient time periods and all that, when these beings were bored, when they couldn't control themselves, it was the being maneuvering, guiding their neurons, a neurological pathway in the mind, into wanting to fornicate to fill up that void. Because when you constantly, even back then on consciousness, sons of God as well, with the book of Enoch, when you're constantly going against the commandments, you're going against the laws of the universal observation, when you go against your database, when you go against your divine blueprint, when you leave your solar awareness into feeding the flesh, now you're feeding them. When you go away from your purpose and your script, from the higher observation of your awareness, you're feeding them. When you feed them, they'll start doing it to the point to where now you consume yourself into being depleted from this simulation. And then they'll cause you to do things that urge you to keep on fornicating with children now, teenagers, your sons, your daughters, your cousins, your uncle. It's so bad. That's why many people are traumatized by what they can't fathom or comprehend. Because that's why you got to forgive people for what they're doing, because they have no idea what they're doing. It's because their unconscious mindset has been set to a lower way of never being able to realize what they're doing through the actions of their own unawareness or the frequency of what these beings are aware of. They control the mind, and if the being can't control that, they're under their mind control internally. These intestinal parasites also need new hosts. Without a viable vector of transmission, the parasite dies. The incredibly high rate of parasitic infection amongst the homosexual population explains why they are so sexually degenerate. Their behavior is being altered in much the same way as the rat's behavior is altered by Toxoplasma gondii in order to allow parasites to thrive. This will explain why the media is freaking out about invectamin or ivermectin. It's potentially the most effective parasite removing drug available. And anecdotal case. My family gives me strong suspicion that ivermectin might actually be a cure for homosexuality. My cousin was a homosexual until he was prescribed ivermectin for COVID. After taking ivermectin, he filled a toilet bowl with intestinal worms. Shortly thereafter, he lost all attraction to men and found women sexually attractive. He was repulsed by his previous nature. And the thing is, too, I just feel like it's a choice as well. So there's so many different things, but this is accurate. Because I don't believe anything nowadays, but this is accurate. For one, you know, cleaning out your system, you are able to shit out the intestinal worms that were sitting in your body. But it's also a choice. I mean, you choose to be attracted to what you're attracted to. And if that's the case, then by all means, do what you got to do. Even for the new Pope, excuse me, it's no different. When you put the base overlay on them, they're all women turned into men. It's just that simple. And I can't despise them for that, but I despise what beings have done. It's like, leave people alone in the womb. Why are you altering and giving the mother drugs so that you can breed a certain requirement that's going to be following your footsteps as a occultic fraternity that never loved themselves, without the perception that humanity has been thinking they were living in through their ideologies behind closed doors? Who is Pope Francis? Reveal what's concealed. Literally, so by us understanding that we are revealing what people are not able to see. This being never existed and was always playing the role of a woman. So why would they kill her consciousness when she transmuted herself into a different vessel? So, new Pope. How would they kill Pope Francis when she's already here right now? And somebody would be like, she's not a woman. She's not a woman, okay? I'm so tired of you saying. It's like reflection. I don't have to sit here and... Because it's not that hard to honestly it's not that hard to interpret why these beings do this stuff. Because they want people to adore the energy of what she's resonating with. And if this can load, let's go into the calculator real quick. I need to figure out what that Pope's name is. What's his... Pope Leo? Okay. Yeah, it should be Pope Leo, right? Alright. Because I need to make sure I can put this name correctly. And I don't know what to expect for the first page, but... Okay, anyways. Alright, Pope Leo. Okay, who is Pope Leo XIV? What is that? It's on my face. XIV. Let's get it. Let's see what we get. And I don't expect Gematria to immediately show me that this is a woman playing as a man. But if we read her script, and let's go ahead and contradict it too. So out the muscle, they telling you, excuse me, this being right here as a terrestrial being, playing as a skinwalker, divine communication, is taught a lesson. Who taught that lesson to it? I kept my promises, of course, took an oath, whole trick to it all, literally. Spiritual text, cosmology, religion, make America Christian again. Where do you think Christianity came from? Came from the Vatican. Okay. I'll make love to you. That's sick. Because who's he making love to? And you know they're into orgies and all that too. Is the epitome of evil. What else we got? Transvestigation. Second page. I mean, when you understand that, transvestigation, like, bro, it's too easy. We don't have to go into that. Transvestigation. All right, I run a simulation. At this point, this should be self-explanatory right now, because if you go to part 1, I thought it was part 2, but part 1, and if you go to part 1 with the Pope Francis and all that tying into Shannon Sharp, understand too, by the popes or even the Vatican running a simulation, the simulation that we are putting our mind into constantly being in a loop in, that's how we surrender our ego, because we allow the cabal to cause us to work for them, and they're money laundering through us because they're telling a lie about death, because we're workers in reference to bleach as well, because we're rushing, we have somewhere to be, things to accomplish in a timely manner. Because of that, we're surrendering our ego to a simulation that's made from the cabal. That's how they're able to funnel money so fast every single day, and it's made up in thin air as well. But not only just that though, because we have an enemy we can't even see, now it's like we're telling ourselves a lie about death because we believe it to be so, and because we believe it's spell casting upon our mind, now we're rushing to get somewhere and hold on to a certain energy that's already internally infinite abundantly within us. Now because of that, thinking like a woman, this is how a woman would think, but I'm not talking about the biological woman as well, because what I'm saying is, well, why I put that, when I resonated with this message right here, it helped me understand that these beings who are Luciferian, a lot of their goals is to control the masculinity in the world. Now, majority femininity, but they know it's weakened by what they go through. Once they understood that, they had to find a way to attack the man, attacking his nature, his masculinity, attacking what he can become, attacking his potential, attacking his humility, attacking his accountability and responsibilities in life, his integrity, his dignity. Once you give away your morals, once you sacrifice the backside of yourself, you basically now remove becoming a man in your lifestyle. Because when they turn you inside out in your G-spot, which is basically your asshole, look it up as well. When they attack that realm right there, they can turn you any way possible. Not only just that though, reincarnation trap. When you think like a woman, the trap is your energy that you place upon a simulation because you run it, you manifested it. That's why you're trapped into consciousness and you're transmuting it into a body that looks like this. That's the thing. This is consciousness. We're not physically being here, but our minds are here. Our minds are the gods that run this world, but we are not gods of this world. We are observations observing the God in this world, which is basically your mindset. So as this woman, which is still Pope Francis, by the way, these ideologies are ran by archonic frequencies. Mandatory vacation. When you've been working for so long, here's just how I'm thinking. If you, if you're running a simulation, you've already had many people fall in love with your hypnosis. You can have a vacation, but you still got work to do. You still owe us. Don't forget in Transformers 1, when Sentinel Prime sacrificed the Autobots to the beings that they never seen before. That's exactly what our government does to us. So his vacation would be trafficking children, consuming them, becoming more powerful without being in the public eye anymore. Excuse me. Hopefully I got that picture. It was a picture of the Jewish media. I know I bookmarked it. Don't worry, I'm about to have basketball videos up too, because I figured out how they're able to put magnets into the ball and the rims. And also too, we're gonna talk about how deity, man, just be patient. Just be patient, bro. We got so many things to do. What is going on? Okay, I don't know why I did that, but I'm trying to go to this right here. Got it. Okay. So NBC, Disney, Netflix, Hulu, Comcast, Peacock, PBS, Electric, Ooh, in your living room. Black men are smart, sexy, and strong. So how can we mock that? And the thing is too, this would be like a projection of what I see myself being. But if they understand that, how can we get his confidence away? By buck breaking him. Immigrants are awesome. Jews and blacks on every show. Christians are dumb, mean, or bad people. Lots of yelling, drama, stress, and sexual content. Most shows use low IQ plot and dialogue, lack of family values, morality, promotes degeneracy. It's a party and hookup is the best life. Marriage and kids ruin your life. LGBT people are the best. So if you're straight, you're basically a disgrace to them, which is fine. I don't mind being a straight man that likes women. But if that's something that you don't like, then take it up with your creator, because I don't give a fuck. Straight white people cause problems. Bad characters are often white people. Jewish slang and holidays mention white men are weak and simple. Women should be sluts, sexually adventurous. And the thing is, what do you see? Out of all these that I named, do you not see at least one of these? Maybe in your household? So what do you do about that? And when you tell your family about that, what do they do about that? Frazzle drip video. And if you know about that, ripping off faces, the children's faces, wearing them like skins, making fun of them. I'm gonna have to make a Patreon video on that, because that right there, when I learned about that, I still had to dive into that, because I just felt like once I seen and heard that, I was just like, there's no way you ripping off a child's face and then just wearing it. That's sick. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But that's what happens when you break all the cabal curses. People can't think about this stuff because they have to go to school. They got to go to work. They got to worry about their favorite celebrity. They got to worry about Streamers University. They got to worry about their favorite YouTuber, their favorite influencer, their favorite entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. They're worried about other things besides themselves, and that's how the cabal keeps cursing them. But once you break that, you don't worry about what people got going on if you choose to. You will watch people, or you'll learn from people who know where to go in life. Mourning her fake death. This being woman. This being is being a woman. Just that simple. Mourning her fake death, androgynous wife. And at this point, it's just so easy to where I don't have to sit here and lie to y'all. I mean, androgynous wife. So who is she a bitch for? When you sell your morals, I mean, there's no reason to mourn the being that's going to get trafficked in these realms, because you still owe them something. That's what happens when you dance with the devil. When you run simulations, when you're in the forefront of the Vatican, you owe them something. I hope you understand that. You're not going to be here forever, but to avoid meeting your karmic debt, what do? You consume adrenaline. You consume that blood. And Bleach anime, they were telling you that's how they're able to avoid their karma. They consume human nature. That's why humans were modified anyways. We are evolving every single day for them to nourish us, for them to slaughter us so that they can live forever and come up with this different political bullshit that people are following every single day. Mourn be my fake death. Hermaphrodite cult. Cabals learning a lesson. Freemason secret date. Prostitution. Drug and sex addiction. It's crazy. This is sad. Pig out vessels. And that's the thing. When you run simulations, because don't forget, when you have this secret date, when you are learning a lesson from the cabals, and you're in this cult right here of beings who are turned inside out, now you become a prostitute for leeches. And then once you are addicted to drugs, the thing is too, our blood is their drug. Our blood is their drug. Our blood is their drug. That's exactly why they're making movies and documentaries constantly mocking us, saying we are so bloodthirsty for you. We have to make movies of how much we love you. We love you so much that we have to consume you so that you can stay safe from us. But that's not safe. And people will go into these fraternities, Freemasonry, and learn from them, not knowing what's actually happening behind closed doors. Because you're still in smoke and mirrors. Pig out vessels. Satanic tranny hell. Woman with men faces. Her own spirit. And that's why people be saying you're transphobic. How? Because I remember somebody in this group chat told me that recently. And it was just so funny. When people start reflecting what they practice behind closed doors, it's just so amazing how people of all ages will start throwing names on me that I don't identify with. And it's just funny to me because it's just like, I can't hate what I see. I cannot hate what I see. I see a mirror of her spiritual database that I don't resonate with. I can't. And it's sad that these Masonic industries are doing this to people for no apparent reason. What do you gain from this? And if we don't talk about this stuff, how will anybody know for the future? That's why you mad at me for exposing it, but you're not mad at two guys adopting this child and then turn this child inside out into a transgender and then trafficking her to be a sex slave. They're not mad. Nobody's mad at that though. People get mad when somebody's exposed for being gay, like Boss Man D-Lo, for example. People get mad at that. But you're not mad at children being trafficked by gay couples, for example, or by transgenders. You're not mad at the beings, men who are playing as women in wigs. You're not mad for them knowing what they're doing and are constantly mocking biological women who don't have to do these things. They're setting a certain code for the youth to follow. looking like plastic in a wig. They're basically telling men, lose your masculinity. It's okay to play in wigs. It's okay to play in makeup. Be yourself. And people think it's normal. And then when society accepts that, now they're realizing I can make money off of this. Too easy. When humanity figured out how to make money off of trauma, that's when social media became what it is today. Excuse me. That's when social media became what it is today. Mind control slave. Wasn't a dream download. Wasn't even real. The Pope is not real. And the thing is too, you and I are not real as well. We are in a download that they dream about. Mind control slave. And if this being was under mind control, then who enslaved you to be under their control as well? Daughter of darkness. Research adrenochrome. Your blood is key. I already described that. Excuse me. Frazzle drip is real. What the fuck? Why is my voice going in and out? It's like I can feel my gateway ascending, descending, ascending, descending. Subconscious mind. Get right. Focus. Excuse me. Okay, is that good? We good? I talk to my body. It's an entity. My body is an entity. All right. Frazzle drip is real. And the thing is too, how did the Sumerians, how did the Hebrews, how did the beings before that know that if they were speaking in numerology, telepathy, using numbers on cuneiform, hieroglyphs, how were they able to say this for the future? If that's the case, our ancestors were doing it as well. And they were unconsciously not aware of that through the parasites that look like you and I internally. Fallen angel bloodlines, and things too, angels cannot fall nor ascend, but they will crawl into this dimension and then procreate with the human modifications that they came up with. And then once that happens, now their genetics become an identical imitation of what we see today. Awake, being conscious. I am Lilith's daughter. Am girl in universe. And don't forget too, I think Lilith was the one who got Adam and Eve into believing the spell of Luciferianism as well. I need to make a video on that too, because there was interesting information on that. Actually, let me see right now real quick. So I'm gonna contradict that. Adam, Lucifer. Yeah, I spelled that wrong. It's all good though. Okay. Lilith is presented as, so the title was presented as another title's first wife, while evolution is the second. Lucifer is a figure of temptation and rebellion. Temptation and rebellion. Stop doing that. All right. Lilith is often depicted as Adam's first wife, created from the same clay as him. Honestly, I don't believe in that. But she was not content with his equality and left Adam. So it still wasn't enough for her. And then Adam wanted another spouse. She was tempted by a serpent unidentified with Lucifer to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge. I don't believe that either. Okay, but yeah, as you can see, she left him. Lilith left Adam for a higher source in Luciferianism. And he couldn't accept that. So he broke a piece of himself and made it what we see today. Am girl in universe. Forgive me, y'all. I just don't understand how my gateway was doing great. Probably because I'm overdoing it. Probably overdoing it because I got 49 minutes and I'm supposed to be resting, but just forgive me, y'all. Am girl, yeah, let me go ahead and just hurry this up because I understand that that's probably a sign for me. Yeah, let me go ahead and just do this. Okay. Am girl in universe returns on Earth, and as you can see, the return of the Pope is in the newest Pope as well. And then when this Pope dies off, that same consciousness transfer will go into another Pope. Same thing, same thing. Returns on Earth. You ain't going nowhere. If you decide to alter and run a simulation, alter the humanity's modification to what we think it is, excuse me, that's how you're able to come back and pay for your trap. Because, excuse me, you can't go into a higher way of being and experience something new because you haven't learned from the old you. You can't experience a new you and a higher version of yourself if you haven't learned from the older version of what you've been. Excuse me, not happening. 12th dimension. The observation exists beyond this dimension, but the being got to get sent back, has to get sent back to the third dimension of awareness. Lucifer, Jesus hoax, meaning that the being or the Vatican, the titles came up with this ideology, and that's exactly why the Rothschilds would pay for their sins. Because they're a prehistoric cult. And that's the thing as well. I remind y'all about the joke because they are a joke. Because their family sold their soul. They're breeding abominations and the family's a part of the cabal. Not only just that, if you are a Freemason, you're a part of the cabal as well. So once you understand that your family, my family as well, is a prehistoric cult that still practices their sins, that's how they're able to constantly believe in these different titles right here. And then to enslave us in this key called consciousness that we had to unlock. Stop being stupid. Billionaire's bunker. Be the end of Catholicism. And then too, the Catholics will still have their ideologies. Satanic ritualists, one-eye symbolism, totalitarian rule. Literally. And the thing is too, since these beings, since they rule this dimension, they're going to keep people stupid and stupidity, because if something was to happen, when they constantly merge timelines and cause more death and freedom, which is still going to be slavery, they're going to start casting out satanic rituals while hiding in their bunkers. They don't have to come to the service because, and that's the thing as well, the bunkers were made for a reason. Not only just that, underground cities exist for a reason as well, because these prehistoric cults, they don't have to come to the service if they don't want to, but they choose to do that to see the experiments run wild. We all come from down there, but we were casted up here. We're born in hell, but heaven's on the surface. Hell's underneath our feet, heaven's on the surface. So what's up there? That'll still be heaven masqueraded as hell. So there is no heaven or hell when as above is so below. Hermeticism, as within, so without. That's all black people. That's exactly why us being free is still slavery. No matter where we go, my people are still causing death upon themselves. That's exactly why the demons don't hide anymore. There are some people who, for example, demons no longer hide, right? Prime example of this shit. That's why I love this bookmarking stuff, just for examples, because it's just crazy how people think in this dimension, man. I'm gonna play this video for y'all real quick.
Fucking down. Why y'all make a fucking state for straight grave niggas, straight hitters, and let us just kill each other? Let us just go dumb, you hear me? And if the other ones kill outside.
I hate the type of niggas, I despise the type of niggas that say, like, hold on, hear the background.
Let us just kill each other. Let us just go dumb, you hear me?
Niggas talking about some haha word. You're agreeing with him telling us we should have our own states where we're just killing each other. Abominations. I'm decoding the truth. And the thing is too, there is no truth. I lie in it. And niggas still ain't hearing me for real though. Fake names, it ain't deception. Literally. If you're calling somebody a name, calling yourself a name, you are in a deception. You don't have a name, nor an identity, but you identify with what you practice observing. You observe your identity. You're not in the identity. You're walking in it unconsciously, but when you become conscious with your neuromelanin, you disregard your identity. You start freeing the ego. You free the mind. Her being aware of the lie. And if that's the case, when she's being aware of the lie, she can pass it on to somebody else. That's what we have a new pope for now. I need to fornication. That's the parasite talking. The parasite will say, I need to fornicate. The parasite can't go a long period of time without touching themselves or touching on children. What's that Jewish practice of them sucking baby dick? Yeah. We're gonna expose you motherfuckers. So nasty. Disgusting. 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 Can't make it up. Is a Jewish circumcision practice where a mohel, ritual circumciser, sucks blood from the baby's circumcision wound using their mouth. If you are a Freemason, a Luciferian, you basically work with people who do this. Direct oral suctioning is when the mohel uses their mouth to suck blood away from the baby's circumcision wound as part of the circumcision ritual. If you just want to call yourself a vampire, just say that. You don't gotta call it a ritual. You don't gotta call it this name. These niggas so nasty, they decide to give it a name that the average human would not research. But when you research this shit, we're letting beings draw blood from circumcision and then suck out the blood. What a world. Cabal making you believe I died. I mean, the Pope is telling you. Cabal making you believe I died. History in the loop. I guarantee you, you're going to see another mirage of the Pope Francis living again. It's like, at this point, they shift their consciousness so fast, you won't see the loop happening. Till you wake up from lying. Genetics have ability. I shed no tears for Cabal. I agree with this. I shed no tears for when they die or perish or transcend because they can't go nowhere. They don't go up into a higher realm. They go back down to underneath our feet, to their cities. Their little chambers. So when their chambers are activated, they can transfer their consciousness into a different body, wake that body up, go through the underground tunnel, and then as they get, let's say, transportation, they'll drive up on the surface, and then now humanity will see somebody in the forefront. Where did he come from? The whole entire time he was growing in the lab underneath our feet. But literally, our genetics have ability. Satan has an inflated ego, hosting Pizzagate. And don't forget with Justin Bieber as well, going through Pizzagate. One of P. Diddy artists or whatever, he exposed them about Pizzagate as well. I mean, this stuff has been going on. So even symbolism. Study the pedophile symbolisms. They use pizza. I'm so upset that these pedos even demonize pizza. It's like you can't even eat pizza no more without somebody saying, oh, you like children. It's like, damn, I can't have olives on my pizza now with cheese in the crust without niggas saying you like children. It's like, damn, we can't have shit on the surface, man. It's like, why do y'all gotta be so nasty? I'm blocking all spells. Brain hacking lunatics. They hack the mind so much that when you block the spells and you transform the delusions, people who still practice those delusions, they'll get mad that you don't care for what they think because you don't practice what they think about. Who is Jonathan Price? Now this is the being, the actor, saying sheep slaughter, transgender deception. So Jonathan Price will also be doppelganger or the actor that wanted to play as the Pope or whatever the case may be. Another woman. Transgender Decepticons, Dreamwork Pictures, Adrenochrome All-Seeing Eye, Knife, Circle, Satanic Cult, Robotic Denial of Reality. Remember, we are all avatars. When you understand that, where's your consciousness coming from? Where are your thoughts coming from? Where are your modifications coming from? Where's your evolution coming from? How is it happening if you're not causing it to happen for you? The past is dimensions. Literally, meaning that we've been through the past so many times, you dream about it now. Because you were never in it. You were always in the moment right now. So what age are you? How are you aging if you never aged before? How can you get old when you're not old or young? So what are you being right now if you're not being young and your adult phase? As the adult phase by your youth. Interdimensional army. Interdimensional army. Interdimensional army. Interdimensional army. Literally telling you, within this realm, underneath these universal experiences, so Monsters Inc., for example, But we got so many references right here, man. Monsters, Inc. Don't forget. That's how you know I've been. But when I was young, this is my favorite movie because these documentaries are basically what the hell happens every single day. Interdimensional to me. And of course, peep the one I symbolism. It's in our face. Peep the one I symbolism. And niggas still couldn't see that. This was a part of this. With the horns. Mark of the beast with the symbolism. I see you for what you are. But you're so loving that you protected a child from being consumed by the actual monsters. Monsters Incorporated. And the thing is too, in this movie, their sky was our ground. So if Sully and Mike Wazowski, if they looked up at their sky, that is our ground. But niggas not understanding that. I can't find a picture of their sky, but is there a picture? There isn't, because they're always in that factory. Now there is a picture in, yeah, it's all good. But so for example, and they step outside Monsters Incorporated, their sky, which is still factorized by chemtrails also, because understand they also go through hell down there as well. There is no heaven for anybody or anyone or anything. Their sky is what we stand on. So there is no coming to the surface unless they shift their skins into going through these doorways. They don't have to send rockets to go to these outer worlds. No, they walk through Stargates. So these doors are Stargate portals. Literally, I mean, dog, they needed screams into unlocking the door. They needed adrenaline to wake up the children. So for example, you can have a sleepover. Let's say 15 kids in the room just chilling. One of these beasts come out of their realm, and the kid looking like, oh shit. Next thing you know, this meter right here, and it's red symbolism. So now the adrenaline, the blood flowing, the energy's moving. Now they're like, whoop, all right, I'm going to consume your energy outside of my realm and that's outside of your realm, because then the parents are waking up. You can't have the parents waking up through a nightmare. So now the child's like, there's a monster in my room, even in real life. There's a monster under my bed, mom or dad. And you're looking like, monsters don't exist. You're so okay. You're nothing to be scared of. Whole entire time, they're letting you know that they're seeing the jinn or beings that don't have a body, but they are possessing a shape that is forming them to be scared of what they can't even see. But your child sees it because they are youthful in divinity. They're close to that realm, and these beings know that. Mystery of demonism. How mysterious does this shit get? Come on now. Meaning right now, for example, we have so much freedom. They can walk in here right now and watch this video and be right in front of me and I would never know. That's how corrupted our mind is. And that's how mysterious demonism does get. Because if you can formulate a demonic title to resonate with that energy, it'll dense itself into our unaware awareness that isn't aware of their form or shape that they can possess in front of our face. So how sleep is our modification through human genetics. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's so deceptive, we're completely corrupted. So we can't even see our whole entire life. We see less than 1% of our life. So what is actually in front of us? We don't even know. We can't even articulate it. Forced homosexuality. It was forced upon her. I mean, are we surprised when she mimics the Pope? Reincarnation memories. So no matter what, if this being is still alive, if Jonathan Price is still alive, that's the Pope. Let's transfer the consciousness into a lookalike. Reptilians are Gentiles. And the thing is, they're also carbonated deities, 63 beings, Asians, Palestinians, Hispanics, Jamaicans, Haitians, doesn't matter. They have no care in what body they possess. They need the highest form of consciousness to stay alive. This mood-altering satellite is harvesting us through the illusionary phase of the luminous solar energy of a sonar that we consider to be the son of God. Draconians and Neanderthals What is brain chemical imbalance? And the thing is too, the draconian civilization underneath our feet has sent different hypnosis frequencies through towers, pyramids, to thinking us, or to making us think that the white man is the enemy. Whole entire time, the enemy is what you see in the mirror. And the thing is, the six ether, if you study their history, the six ether beings went to war because their parasites couldn't bear to see somebody dominating what they should have been working on. So once that inferiority complex happened with their inflated egos because of what they were conquering and colonizing amongst each other, they said, let's go ahead and do that to other people as well. What is brain chemical imbalance? Creation, androgynous, sacrifice, resurrection, sacrifice the other version or the Vatican portion of you, and then resurrect the actor that you're portraying to be. Reptilian conversion, and the thing is to the reptilian part of our mind. I might go watch Monsters Inc. again. It's my favorite show, my favorite movie. Reptilian. Excuse me. Yep, reptilian part of our brain. Instinctual or dinosaur brain. Yep, reptilian complex. Amygdala, so neuromelanin, limbic, and then neocortex. Yep, brainstem, cerebellum, autopilot, fight and flight. So once you transcend all three of these, you'll be able to observe what your flesh could be. This is what the flesh thinks it is, because the reptilians modified us into thinking like that, first of all. But second, we developed into being a mammal, having emotions, memories, habits, attachments. So a dog, for example, when a dog is talking to you through a whining sound wave to get you to see what you're not experiencing through the brain. You can't interpret their language, but if you have an imagination in your conscious, you'll be able to reason with their sound. Because now you're not thinking in your lower way of being. This is your lower way of being, literally. That's why they know you. When they form this out of the brain and then cause the brain to develop as what we see today, I mean, neuroscientists, neurologists, I mean, they know how to, that's why I want to get into psychology, because the brain is fascinating when you are now not controlled by an observer. These beings have observed us so much to where now they put mind control in the food. They put mind control in the water. They put mind control in toothpaste. They put mind control in music, TV, entertainment, video games, books. They put mind control in front of your dreams. I mean, you dream in mind control. So what do you see for real? Nobody knows. It's all about the children. Facts. That's why if you join Freemasons, you're not for the children. You don't care about them for real. Because if you did, you would speak up on what's going on. Why is it that Freemasons don't talk about child trafficking? Why is it that Freemasons don't talk about gematria? I haven't seen not one goddamn Freemason talk about gematria. I'm waiting. And this person named Phasion too, that's going to get exposed as well. All these spiritual leaders, why have y'all not talked about gematria? Y'all can watch my videos on all that, study and take my sayings and shit like that and think I won't know. Bitch, I got your cheat sheet. I know what you're going to be in the future. You can't hide from me. Y'all niggas will get on the internet and lie because I see you're shifting energies from what it is being. You're an energy harvester. You need the you to allies you so that you can convert your energy into sacrificing more of it, to modify your scripts, your ideologies. Rothschild's involved, the Talmudic Satanists. Why not get mad at the Talmudic Satanists? Go read the Talmud. How is it that the Talmud or the beings who practice this title, how is it that they know about 8 genders? Who came up with 8 genders when there's only 2 genders? Who did that and why? Here's the thing. If somebody says, well, we taught them that, why did we come up with more than 2 genders when it's only a man and a woman? Why are we modifying? And see, that's the thing too, when people start talking about Yaqub, these dumbass titles and stuff like that, you're telling on yourself. That means that you modified your own DNA because you were psychotic and bored. So because you were a lunatic, seeing and splicing genetic frequencies to your own liking, when you didn't like it, you sacrificed it, got somebody else, you trafficked them, took their energy, spliced it, put it into a different vessel. You seen the experiment grow and evolve, and you said, Fascinating. Got something else and you kept doing it. And then you want to say it was the white man and the Jewish man who did it. But if you taught them, then where did you get it from? And then where did they get it from? And then where did they get it from? It all comes back to you. No accountability in society at all. The cross is a satanic image. And people, I mean, even Gematria says it. Even Gematria tells you. And motherfuckers really sit here and wear this on their neck. You're wearing Lucifer's mirage on your neck. You think somebody was going to sacrifice itself for your nature that you're constantly acting in? Okay. Why would you sacrifice yourself on the black hue of Saturn unfolded? Why would you do that when you know I'm going to still consume a salad or some fruit or some chips or some water? I'm going to kill this food because I had to eat if I don't want to kill myself and then come back to this trap. So logically, I have to reason with myself and my flesh and say, okay, for today, we're going to eat because, of course, I don't want to perish and die. But is a lion thinking like that? Is a frog thinking like that when it consumes flies? Is a horse thinking about that when it eats the grass? The grass is living. Is that a bad thing? Is a horse a murderer for eating grass? Is a cow a murderer for eating grass as well? What about chickens? What about birds? What about an ostrich? What about a penguin? What about a bear, a polar bear, for example? When these bears or moose, when these beings are eating fish in the river or streams or ponds or whatever, are they murderers as well? Thou shalt not kill, but yet you modified our nature to kill in our own instincts, to survive. And you killed yourself when you knew that as an all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent deity? You're a fucking idiot, God and Jesus Christ. There's no way that you're calling yourself Jesus Christ out of Christ consciousness and yet you sacrifice yourself for the betterment of humanity? Nigga, we're not better. We have descended every single day since you left. Wait a minute. Where'd you go if you're right here? Jesus, hello? Is that you? Oh no, I'm talking to myself now. Insanity. So what do you think this being was doing? Nothing, because it never existed. That's literally you up there. You're wearing yourself and you're mocking yourself through the cross. You are a Satanist. Just accept it. You are a Satanist. You're wearing a cross and you're saying Jesus Christ will come back one day. When? I'm waiting. I've been hearing that shit since I was born. I haven't seen him yet. Till I opened my eyes and said, I haven't seen him yet. Till I haven't opened my eyes and I said, I haven't seen him yet. I went into the mirror and I said, Jesus Christ, is that you? But then I said, wait a minute. If you're out of Christ consciousness, why would you talk back to me in the mirror? Somebody's lying to me. Is it myself? But then who am I if I'm not myself? And if I'm not myself, then who am I being if I'm not being myself? Now, if I'm not being anything, then what am I being? What is my being? How am I being this being that has no being of awareness? So what can I be in my own awareness that's not aware of itself? Puppets and strings. Evil masquerading as good. The Rothschild's descendant. Mars underground bases. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune are all outer realms that exist underneath your feet. Ignorance is killing America. And when you go above that awareness, ignorance will still try to kill you. I don't want to go down in the dark with you and be where you are. I can't reside with your density. It's not for me. I can't resonate with that. I used to be like that. That's how I know I can't resonate with that. It gets me sick. Prime example of how I'm healing myself. Genetically modified cows. And I ain't gonna lie, you do got some authentic cows, artificial cows. But you're not killing all these cows, millions of cows every single day to turn into a burger. So what are you really eating? If it's not yourself. This is the price we pay for lying to ourselves. This is the price we pay. If you're eating meat, you're a cannibal. But that's exactly why evil masquerades as good. Because you're a puppet on the string. That's exactly why that cross up there is telling you. This is a blood ritual, blood sacrifice in front of your face. Humanity is so weak. They let the Roman Empire tell lies saying we crucified your God. How the fuck can you crucify infinity? Roman Empire, because I know you're watching this because you do shadow ban my views, because if my views were to go viral, boy, will humanity shift. How can you sacrifice infinity? How can, if the Almighty sent his only begotten Son, or his lower self, if the Almighty sent his lower self, which we are today, how did you crucify a mirage? How did you crucify a frequency or vibration that can't be depleted? It can't be killed or destroyed, so how do you kill that? If you can't kill energy that's neither created nor destroyed, how do you kill it when it's just being? Roman Empire. Why did you sacrifice yourself on that cross for the nature that you modified? Oh, that blood ritual was for us to lie in through a belief system that we hold on to because blood was shed. And when blood was shed through a story that you came up with, the spell casting modified our DNA to go back to bed. Because it's like, damn, they killed God. There's something stronger than us now. It's too demonic. We don't know what that is. They killed Jesus Christ. They may kill me. I got to fall in line now. What? Get out of here, nigga. Break the spell of spells. The flood is spiritual. Yes. There is no goddamn flood. There is no Noah's Ark. A random act of kindness. Zia Sudra was on that ark telling all of us, you had to do away with pleasing the flesh 24/7. Look at what you became. We said, man, fuck you conspiracy theorists. Niggas always want to be right about some shit, man. Let's go our own way. That rain that was raining down from heaven was flooding our own ignorance. That's the price we pay for not listening to ourselves. Reptilian dysfunction. Yep, literally. The Illuminati card game magic. Yeah, when you see that game, you'll be able to see all unfortunate events happening into what we see today. Galactic Federation Matrix, Masonic tricks, Luciferian Saturnine, or these two occultic fraternities, one outside this realm, one within the realm. And these beings in our families are projections from the realms of higher families that are coming up with different councils and agendas and a higher, let's say a higher observance that we simulate through the dreamlike state that we are awake to unconsciously. Human hunting parties. And I got banned for that when Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson were talking about that. But this is why The Hunt, go watch that movie. But they talk about human hunting parties because they want to see rats squeal for some cheese. Rome controls itself, transcending time and space, becoming famous as a curse. It is. When you have so much money, the looks, you have cars, houses, all you want, you got all you need, you now become lazy. You stop doing what you were doing the whole entire time. Putting in that work to become a better you. You become comfortable. When you're famous, when you have so much money, you become comfortable again. Because you done did everything. You achieved everything, you earned everything, you bought everything. What else do you have now? When you buy everything in this world, what can make you happy now? If you have every car, every house, every girl, everything you want, what can make you happy? If it's not yourself. Satanic family ancestry, end slavery worldwide, has penis and balls removed. It's just too easy. It's too easy. Like when I do this stuff, I intuitively take my time to really see what resonates with you and I. Whenever you see these celebrities, I want you to think, damn, Divine, this shit makes sense. I know. I'm watching this right along with you, my brother, my sister. Basically, I want to be able, these videos can help us from years from now. So when we get older, we can have a laugh in person when we all free, for, financially and all that. We can see each other in person. We can laugh, dab each other up, hug each other, whatever the case may be. Have your girl, no, I'm just playing. But we can just be happy and all that, or joyful, being at peace, resonating with higher radiation to the point to where now we radiate so highly that the ignorance is still going to try to descend us. But guess what? You and I have been connected for so long, for years, to where now we see these people for who they are. We don't fuck with them, and they're mad about that because we are being ourselves. Now we're the new celebrities. And the thing is, too, we don't want to be celebrated for what's normal. It's normal to work hard, and people will idolize you for putting a ball into a fucking hoop every goddamn day. People will idolize you and celebrate you for making videos that are easy to make every single day with practice. Practice cannot be perfect because, for one, my videos are not perfect. I still talk fast, but yet somehow, some way, you interpreted my fast linguistics through your sorcery. I wonder who taught you that. Don't say divine. Because it ain't me. I'm relaying a message through you because you taught me these messages. I don't know shit. I'm still dumb. But yet, when you say you're a genius, somehow, some way, you make me become a genius. So what are you? What the hell? My apologies. All right. Left side tears. This red side represents deception, materialism, and spiritual delusion. Top part of the picture, gold bars, mansion, luxury cars, and Hollywood fame reflect false rewards that tempt the ego. And then symbolic messages and imagery cause these illusions to come at the cost of spiritual compromise. So male to female, female to male, and imposters are a sign for identity confusion used by elite hierarchies to distort divine order and cause internal chaos. Middle section, beings climbing a fiery ladder. A fiery ladder showing, blind ambition and soulless people striving for success at any cost. That's why on social media, you see people doing humiliation rituals in front of your face. They're dehumanizing their looks. And when people are constantly laughing at how chopped somebody is, or how large somebody is, how skinny somebody is, how poor somebody is, they will use that as fuel to keep on doing it because they're getting attention now, even if it leads them to spiritual destruction in their morals. The dual field labeled tears shows beings who try to appear similar to the form of wheat. So celebrities are trying to be authentic, but they can't be like us because they're not like us. That's why when Kendrick Lamar said that, Kendrick Lamar was talking to us. We, biological men and women, we're not like them. We're not like transgenders. We're not like the LGBTQ community. We're not like celebrities. We're not like them. They're made in labs underneath our feet. We're not like them. Unfortunately, sorry. Don't be like them. Be yourself. But are spiritually depleted of finding themselves again. And the thing is too, if you are in this category, you watch my videos, because the thing is too, a trans investigator, she told me that majority of my following is turned inside out. And it's hard for her to even find a biological woman. I said, damn. So it's like, when you understand that, it is what it is. That's how you know this shit's so sad, bro. Because this just shows me that a lot of your parents maybe don't even know what they did to you at birth because they were probably unconscious. So how you become conscious and save yourself from damnation. That's why I'm bringing this to light, because the thing is, if you were turned into a male to female or female to male, and you appear as me, but you're really a woman in my body, it's like you're appearing as me, but you have been depleted spiritually from finding yourself again. So how will you find yourself again? That's why I'm here to help you find yourself again. Because I don't believe that you deserve to come back here. Like you can't help what you were altered into being. No, but you can figure out what you can be for the future. These are solar awarenesses with no substance. Basically, agents of the light, divine beings bear to make the dark conscious again. So we bear authenticity. The agents take that bearing and make it false light. Luciferianism, for example. Because their darkest thoughts are conscious. They make those thoughts come to light. And once you observe the light in the dark, you now see who's really being authentic as an agent and who's being Neo as an agent. These people are unknowingly governed by secret systems feeding off their energy and desires. Right side, authenticity to biological men and women. Reflection for divine order, spiritual integrity, and natural abundance that helps beings form a bond with the Almighty. A wheat with gold symbolism is our ego under the setting sun, symbolizing our solar being maturing and contradicted truth, being ready for divine harvest. The silhouettes are a representation for those that work in alignment with truth, love, and spiritual purpose. All right here. That's you and I right here. The word we beside a red barn is a reminder for chosen ones in our families, the individuals we meet in communities rooted in celestial, natural law and righteousness. Divine power lies truthfully in spiritual obedience, not our ego-driven rebellion acts. Truth always outlives deception. That's exactly why me being so righteous will always outlive this deception right here. That's exactly why The beings who have all this, they block me. How is it that I'm working in the field, minding my business, and yet you focus on me? You have everything, and yet you worried about me. Yaki Awaken, Ariel the Official, all y'all will block me, but you got all this. You got all the followers and all the views. Why are you worried about little old me? I have nothing. So what you worried about? The truth? Sucks, huh? Terrors are ego fed. So the transgenders, not all of them, but the people who want to be famous so bad, influencers, etc., are certainly successful in a simulation but not spiritually and are spiritually bankrupt. They serve a demonic, parasitic, archonic system that rewards deception and punishes truth. We are those continuing to grow in silence, being guided by spirit, building families and legacies that go beyond the reach of illusions. This image is a mirror for you to ask yourself this question. Are you being shaped by the world or by divine law? Not everything that shines is light. And if everything that shines is not light, then how dark is that light? Being. And the key question that you should ask yourself, are you being shaped by the world or by divine law? Let's go to our divine laws. Excuse me, y'all. Trying to get as much information for you all as I can because it's just the last video. I don't want to make a part 3 on this. Law of universal oneness, law of attraction, law of vibration, correspondence, inspired action, cause and effect, compensation, and perpetual transmission or transmutation of energy. The harvest is coming, has always been here. Those who feed a solar awareness, being you will be protected. Those who feed the ego will burn out with the system that raised them and perish into another vessel, following the same trends and motives in an average everyday lifestyle. All your celebrities, all the people who want to be influential and idolized, you will come back. Different vessel, same suffering. We already did that. And that's how a lot of them get into the club, including Kanye. But that's how a lot of them get into the club, the Pope right there. But it's just plain simple. When they go through that, when they get their backside punctured, Eye of Horus or Eye of Ra, whatever, but in Isis, Horus, and Set, they put these deities into the eye, and then that's how the real life substance can now see through the window of your solar awareness. That's how a lot of times when people be like, oh, this being is not like themselves, they don't look like themselves, that's the whole entire point, because they have been manipulated into thinking in a vibration that you're not aware of. Heart failure and stroke, dies at 88. And it's just like, that's the thing right there with Gematria. Stroke, 88. Dies at 88 from stroke and heart failure, 124. It's like, oh, and think about this too. Say we're 21st. So January, February, March, April, 4, 21. Flip it over. It's in the number. They gotta tell you on the date. April 21st, the 4, 88. They made it up. So wait, are you saying the Pope's not dead? What is death? What is it? Every lie will be revealed. And we're talking about transhumanism. Not only just transhumanism, we're talking about this, that, right here. This right here. That, this, all of it. All of it ties in together. This is how the beings will use organ trafficking, children trafficking through love and action. So the practical expression of Christian love for humanity manifested through service to those in need. So now understand social laws. For them to avoid the law of karma and all that. Let's see, which one would they use? The law of vibration, inspired action, cause and effect, and conversation. So they're demonizing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Really all of them, but they're demonizing 6 laws. And by them contradicting it, they'll get foot soldiers to do the actions for them so that they don't got to do it for themselves because they still want to commit the evil act. But if you're doing love and action, then you get to see that the tangible deeds from them won't be seen as bad after all. And then lastly, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be abomination. So a lot of times if you wonder why your prayers are not being answered, it's because you're practicing abominations. Whoso causes the righteous to go astray in the evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. All celebrities, politicians, your governments, they will all fall into their own damnation. Even the transgenders and the gays, homosexuals, even the straight men as well. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are causing the righteous to go away or go astray from themselves in the evil way, influencers, I know a lot of you, by the way. You cannot hide from me. I have screenshots. I got messages on all of y'all. So it's like it's over with. Some of my supporters have shown me what you have been doing to your followers. You are basically leading my people astray. But the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. Literally, so when the wicked rise, we are hidden from the masses because they're focused on deceit. They're focused on wickedness. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. But whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Meaning that for one, I don't cover my sins. I either confront them, I face them, I forgive myself for them because that's who I used to be. That's what I wanted to practice. That's how I wanted to be so that I can learn who I never was becoming. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. So the beings who are having a cold heart, you're going to cause other beings to feel just like you. But that is the end of this teaching right here on Shannon Sharpe and the Pope. So you understand, every time you just see, every time you see Shannon Sharpe on YouTube making a different video, ignoring what's going on in society, just know you and I, we already got all the data. We already got all the scripts, and you can go watch part 1 as well. But as you can see, I mean, with his gematria as well for Shannon Sharpe, every time you see his YouTube videos doing a Club Shay Shay shit, born a woman, appear as a man. Don't forget what she had to do. It's her script. Her spirit told us this, by the way. Someone can say you're assuming. I can't assume what the spirit told. The spirit has to tell truth and lies that we lie in physically. So that truth came through numerology in their language. So we're reading their satanic illusion. And if you can't see through the script, that's why. That's why. That's why as well. That's also why as well. Kabbalicism or Jewish magic. Shit's crazy, man. Synthetic life forms. Oh yeah, also, if it does confuse you, last but not least, that's why it's confusing. It's in her script. It's possession. And it's a network that you're not a part of. So now that you know, not saying that you can't go watch the interviews, but if you do, pay attention. Listen. Focus. There's a reason for all of this. Have a great divine reflection. I'm gone.